But even private stores are still going to get all out.
Well, it's because his buddies told him, Rob, we're not going to make
What's
any
up,
money.
potheads and political junkies? You're watching Cannabis Culture News Live. Jeremiah here with Mr. Cookie Man.
Hey, everybody. We're here today on our hot Friday.
It is warm in this building here at 307 West Hastings in beautiful downtown Vancouver. We've got kind of a Vancouver heat wave going on the last week or two, melting everywhere. Some of us are having fun going to the beach and doing fun things, but not me.
No.
No.
I'm living in an air conditioner.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Have you been to the beach at all?
No. I've been to English Beach, but that doesn't really count.
It's not barely
I was
a
like
beach.
grabbing a coffee or something.
English Bay Beach. You got to go to Rec Beach for it to be a real beach trip here in Vancouver.
Yeah, I should go soon. I should get my suntan on before I go festivaling.
And no tan lines at Rec Beach.
That's right. That's good. Makes me feel so free. But it's not as free as it used to be, because what I used to do is like go to the beach, kick off my trousers, spark up a nice joint, and just like walk up and down the beach.
Yeah.
But now the cops are always around there, so it's like,
yeah.
It's like we have a buzzkill.
They don't care about the weed, mostly,
I guess.
I don't think. And they're more looking for
They just
people
had
boozing,
like a joint.
But shit, we go down there every time I've been there. We're drinking beers and boozy freezies.
My buddy used to sell beer down there. Probably still does.
Probably. Is he? Is his name the mayor?
No, it's the guy with the hat.
There's a bunch of. That's a great job. If you ask me, if I ever retire from cannabis, that's the job I want. Is selling boozy freezies down on the nude beach.
Down there, yeah. You just got to be a little naked, and that's all that matters.
The guys who are selling stuff, I don't know how we got on this tangent.
It's seasonal.
Yeah. Neil, Neil's
down there selling
Neil's
weed.
kind of got a bit of a tan more than me, anyways. But those guys down at the beach have like the tan of all tans. They look like a leather suitcase.
It's like,
essentially.
we got this.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've had that for the last month and a half down there.
Yeah. Those guys are down there early.
Yep.
Yes. So you heard the voice, disembodied voice of Neil Magnuson. There he is. Look at that handsome devil.
What's going on?
Yep.
Got your freedom going yet?
So the reason that I haven't been at the beach is because if you look at my T-shirt here, dun, 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 dun,
Where can I get one of those T-shirts?
I've been busy. I've been busy setting up a new business here in town called High Score that is now complete, and it's open for friends and family of us here. And it will be open to the public very soon. It should be open to the public, but I don't have my business license from the city yet. I need my piece of paper from the city, and then we will be open to the public as well. But if you're a friend or family member and you know me, just come down and knock on the door or come on in and say, Jeremiah sent me, and we'll show you around the place and let you know what's happening there. So
The whole chat's going to be down there.
Yeah.
Jeremiah sent me. I seen it on Pod TV.
That's fine with me. 649 East Hastings in Vancouver. 649 East Hastings, High Score in Vancouver. It's going to be dope. We'll probably broadcast. I don't know if next week's show will be broadcast from there, but the week after very likely will be. Because next week on the show, confirmed, and hopefully if it all works out, it will happen. There might be problems because the man is a busy man, but Hector Bremner, Vancouver City Councillor, will be here in studio next week. He's running for mayor of the city of Vancouver in our election that's happening on, I think, the 20th of October.
Yep.
And he's on the cover of the Georgia Straight this week. He looks like he's on the cover of GQ. I wish I had that picture here we could show you, but he's a handsome devil. But even more importantly is that he's supportive of vapor lounges and cannabis dispensaries here in the city. So he is going to, I believe, announce his cannabis policy on the show next week.
Very nice.
Big
Very
stuff.
cool. So that should be fun. He was actually in the building hanging out a couple weeks ago on a Monday. He was in the studio. He sat down even in the hot seat for a second, but
He was ready.
Yeah, it was Carly's show, and we didn't want to just ambush him out of nowhere without having a discussion with him first. We wanted to see where he stood before we start cutting him down. But we're going to be hard on him and ask him the real tough questions. And
He was ready.
He was ready.
He seemed good when we talked to him that day, except that he got a little bit excited about the idea of dispensaries selling out the back door. That he was going to make sure that didn't happen. So I thought that was a bit of a red flag. But other than that,
coffee shops have to bring it in the back door, so.
But why would see the issue is why would a dispensary sell it out the back door? I mean,
they're
really,
allowed to sell
and
it.
why would
They're
he
allowed to
care?
sell it, yeah.
And why would they care unless there's some issue of public safety going on, which there's not.
Right, exactly. And when it comes to those kinds of things, selling out the back door, you save money on your taxes. I get that, but do bars sell out the back door? I mean, there's just no point Do they?
I
Well,
guess they
maybe
might.
maybe
Yeah,
some
I don't-
bars do. J-Max says yes, but you know, if they do, then they have a.
Let's lump them all together. All bars sell illegally, so
Yeah, see, but exactly, it's like obviously not all bars are doing that.
And if it's a problem, then we should have government intervention. If it's not a problem, then let's not create problems where there are none.
precisely,
and there is inspectors out there inspecting for this stuff, because I remember friends of ours had a place that they ran with a liquor license for parties, and they actually got in trouble for serving booze after 2 o'clock. There was
wow.
There was like a guy there like 2 o'clock, and they were like, "Oh,
the
serving
provincial
booze."
G-men.
Yeah, and he went and like fined them or whatever. I was just like,
So did every bar have a guy there till 2? Did they have that kind of staff going
I
on?
wonder, eh? Like,
Well, you know, they had these.
we should give them bigger budget.
Nah, it was probably
Need
just
more money for that.
It was probably just the guy was on the roam at
Well,
large.
maybe they'd had a complaint about that particular bar or something,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
You know, just recently here in Vancouver, the provincial government went into some bars that were selling illegal whiskey.
That's right.
And they weren't selling it out the back door, but they were getting it in the back door. They were buying it from places that were not the government of British Columbia, which you're not allowed to do. So you can go online and find all
It
these
did originate with
specialty.
the government, though.
What did?
The booze that they were selling had originated with government supply and then purchased by somebody else, but wouldn't sell to them, so they had to go and buy it from somebody else to sell it in their stuff.
And then so it was still illegal.
Still illegal.
Oh, the fucking scumbag! Oh, sorry, I'm just getting mad at the provincial government with these things. It's like
So
give me
many
a
regulations,
break.
so much bullshit
I
regulations.
know.
That's the thing.
It makes
It's
me
the government.
angry, but we have to do our best to play by these rules if we want to be legal. And speaking of the rules,
The rules are changing.
Is Doug Ford going to single-handedly save this country?
Just gonna save Ontario
never,
for sure.
never think I would say those words, but man, Doug
Douglas
Ford, who is
coming through.
kind of on the warpath in Ontario, doing a lot of things that progressives probably won't like, including, basically dialing back their like sex ed back to the 30s or whatever, and you're doing all. Oh yeah, they got rid of a whole bunch of programs.
I think it was 50s.
Educational programs, yeah, maybe
Here's
back
a
to
nude
the 50s.
picture. It's like a drawing with like not even detailed.
But he's also doing things like splitting. He's killing half of city council, so he's firing
Right.
half of the city council.
72 to 45 or something like
Which
that.
yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
He's like-
doesn't sound that bad to me.
Unless you were one of the
unless I was a
30-some
counselor. But I mean, we were having this conversation. Wards, they have wards there, so they have a lot more city councilors than say the city of Vancouver, which is good. I don't think you should have as few as Vancouver, but 25's not too bad.
For Toronto, it's a
Yeah.
massive city.
I think
72
LA
seems a bit unmanageable.
72. I don't
it'll
think
be hard to
we're-
come to collective
I think it was
agreement with that
47.
many people.
I think it was 47 down to 25.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'm pretty sure it's 47 down to 25, but I could be wrong. I should be looking this research up.
We just
But-
throw the facts
I
out
just
there.
heard it
You
on the
guys
news,
sort it
I
out
thought-
if
I
it's
thought
right or
that's what I
wrong.
remembered, but,
Right. So despite any bad nastiness that Mr. Ford has been up to, gotta say this headline kind of struck me as a pretty big positive. Anil, I don't know if you have this up on the cam. Oh yeah, I did send it to you. Here is the headline. Ontario Premier Doug Ford set to privatize legal cannabis sales, reports say. Dun dun dun. That's in the bud cam. So here.
So that would be privatizing the ownership of the government stores or the stores that would sell the government weed.
Well,
Yes and
we're not
no.
quite sure what the process is going to be yet. Hopefully it would be that there's no government involved at all. But here, I'm just going to read you this. Reports that private marijuana dispensaries will soon be able to operate in Ontario are being hailed by cannabis activist Jody Emery. That's the
hailing.
It's a good
lead.
step for sure. whatever
And then
it is.
if you look, as I scroll down here, look at the first picture in the article here.
Oh,
What is
801.
that? It happens to be our Cannabis Culture store. So in all the press related to cannabis or dispensaries in Canada, we always get our picture there. It's hilarious. They always put a Cannabis Culture. We had a lot of stores across the
It's not
country.
even like a raid
Is
picture.
that
It's like a
store still
store
there?
open picture.
No stores exist.
Yeah,
No, we have no more Cannabis Culture stores in Ontario as it stands currently. But we want them. We'd love to have as many as we can. So this is great news for people like us, obviously, because we were really on the chopping block. We had a whole bunch of stores. We had a bunch in Ontario, Montreal, other places. All those are gone now.
Peterborough.
But people already, since last night, we've got like a bunch of requests for franchise stores in just because of this news breaking last night.
If they let you use the name, that'd be awesome.
Well, the name
These private retail stores are able to use names like that. That would be awesome.
Sure they are.
Yeah.
No, that's already done. So according to this article, I'll just continue to read on here. In the wake of reports because this isn't actually all confirmed yet, but it says, in the wake of reports in Vice News and the Globe and Mail, who cite unnamed government sources, Emery told the Star she is very excited by the news, which she hopes will provide an opportunity for small business owners. Now, this is just unnamed sources.
Unnamed.
But according to the reports,
Richard.
the Tory government will allow legal cannabis to be sold in private stores. Vice News states that sources close to Premier Doug Ford's government are planning to overturn the previous Liberal government's decision for a monopoly on cannabis sales via the Liquor Control Board of Ontario. We'll have more to say in the near future, said a source in Premier Doug Ford's office.
Unknown source.
Unnamed, unknown,
Did that say
shadowy
they'd be
source.
Able to use other than the government source for weed?
No, it doesn't say that, but it says the report notes the new plan will mirror the Alberta model, which allows for privately owned stores to sell marijuana if they carry a license from the Liquor Commission. That you still have to buy your weed from the government.
Right.
But
And on that note, there was an Indigenous conference here in Vancouver, and apparently they've written some sort of a letter stating that they're planning on producing cannabis on the reserve and selling it on the reserve, and as long as it's within the reserve, it's going to be self-regulated.
great.
Wow, like
That's
like
the way it should be.
Yeah.
It's the way it should be. So I see that there's a ticker right here. Herbia,
Hey.
Holy Grail. So Anil, what exactly is this ticker here? Let's get you to
Let's get
our
some
producer Anil.
explanatory
on
on
the mic here.
this.
We can get a little camera over here.
Little camera and mic action.
Oh, I don't think
These
it
are
needs to be
these
on.
are names for cannabis by the looks of it to me.
There's the cam. Ah, look at that. Devil.
He's huge.
There you go. So there was a list of names for cannabis from a DEA report. Let's see if I can get
Fuck,
this
that must be
up
fun.
The
here.
intel they
And
have
yeah,
on
so
us.
this is a brand new DEA report. I've got the name of it coming up here, so you'll see. And there's names for all your other favorite drugs, kids. So
Slang
Give
terms and
yourself a
code
look.
word.
That's so
You should
fun.
make up a bunch of
That's
phony
awesome.
names and let them, get that in.
Hot pie and stuff. The yummy skidoodles.
Skidoodles. So, yeah, interesting times ahead. I've been feeling a little depressed
Kitty
lately
cat kush.
because, in here in British Columbia, we have rules that say you're only allowed to have 8 franchise stores or stores using the same name for cannabis. So that would limit us to 8 here. We're going to try and open as many stores as we can. And, we want to go through the other provinces and do the same, but I was really starting to worry about the way things were going in this country. And if this is true and this really is turning around and Ontario will be fair game, that is the biggest game changer in the country. For real. It will allow mom and pop dispensaries to actually exist and to do this thing the right way. Obviously, unless they come up with Doug Ford style regulations that say only Shoppers Drug Mart can do it.
But what if
or
they
Tweed.
still have to only sell their product
Hopefully
in
not.
prepackaged plain paper bags with warnings on them?
Well, I
that-
think
that's
they're-
still not going to be acceptable.
Well, right.
They're going to want to have quality assurance, and we know that. So the prepackaged things, it might be like hard to fight for like a few years because they want to make sure that product's regulated. Even if they grab like 10 pounds or 100 pounds and they put it in a warehouse and they test it all by batch or whatever, and then they pre-bag it. At least that way they're kind of guaranteeing that it's been approved by something, so at least people aren't being like, we know that they can't get sick from it.
Well, I was going to say, because we do have so many
Right.
people that are injured severely by street cannabis
We'll have
all the
immune
time, right?
deficiency disorders, and they smoke some of the worst weed in the world. And
What's more important
they're
than the
doing
package?
And they're doing okay.
The
But-
I don't
Yeah,
give it. To be honest,
there's
I don't
some-
really care that much about the package. I care about what's in the package.
Yeah, yeah.
And if the government is forcing us to buy shitty pot, it doesn't matter what package it comes in.
I ain't gonna
I'm not
buy
gonna
it.
like it. But if we can buy really dope weed and it comes in a brown paper bag, I don't really give a shit. What
So my big issue with what's going on is this does not address the medical patients' need to access medical dispensaries.
Right.
No.
And so many of these dispensaries that were providing access are now wanting to be part of the legal system, and they're turning their backs on their suppliers of their edibles and the patients that were using them. So I still think that there's a need for civil disobedience with respect to having dispensaries defy criminal law and bylaws and be medical dispensaries and have trained staff and have a full range of things that people would need for their medical needs. And I think they can stand firmly on the Allard decision by Judge Phelan, who said that these places are crucial for access. So in the case of like the Green Cross, for example, they've got a license from the city of Vancouver, but it's a Compassion Club license. So they think they're going to have to still comply with these non-medical stores and the prepackaged blah, 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 and get rid of their edibles and stuff, but they're not sure yet. And I really think that there should be a special provision made by the city of Vancouver and across Canada for these medical dispensaries and allow them to separate themselves from the non-medical and have that full range of products for people.
Or do like Colorado, have both recreational side, medical side.
But right now, it's really looking bad for the medical side. That's what legalization is doing.
And because, the heavy regulations, the shitty product, all of these things.
Yeah.
But
Capped
remember,
on the potency.
there's still, if you get an LP license as a producer, then you can sell directly to the consumer. You don't have to have nothing to do with government weed.
Well, nothing to do with government. You've still got to have that percentage of microbes that they're allowing, which means you have to either be spraying your weed or irradiating it at this point.
That's not true. That's absolutely not
That's
true.
not true.
Not true. No, it's true.
No.
It's true that you have to have your microbe levels down.
Right.
What's not true is that you have to spray or use gamma radiation to get your microbe levels
Is there
down.
another way of doing it?
Absolutely.
Just
there are.
proper gardening practices.
Yeah, just grow.
I don't think that weed qualifies as too many microbes.
That's not true, Neil.
Like,
not
we tried
true.
this weed.
I hope I'm wrong about that.
You can
you
can
are.
grow marijuana. You can grow marijuana with no microbes properly, but it's harder to do that in a large facility. So the larger the facility,
then it spreads real fast.
yeah, the bigger the facility. The
So
more.
our favorite growers could still be growing their same way and supplying the market, and they're good?
Do it small batch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, so I went out and actually had a look at an LP. I went and visited an LP facility in Hamilton, Ontario. I'm not even sure if I'm supposed to talk about it or whatever, but I don't care. Like it was, I don't know if I want to give anybody the props, but these guys were doing it right. These guys were actually growing the weed properly. They're not using any pesticides. They're not blasting with gamma radiation. They were growing it really nice. It looked like amazing plants. They didn't have a lot of pot. It wasn't huge. Like they showed us their vault and stuff, and we were kind of laughing because we could probably sell that in a Cannabis Culture store in less than a week. But
They're gathering it up.
it's starting, right? And it's going to be slow to get bigger and bigger. And these guys they have one now, and they're going to keep doing that, and so on and so forth. But the product they were making looked pretty fucking good.
Okay.
And that's an LP licensed. When it comes down to
Almost
it,
sorry to hear
I'll
that
tell
because
the
I want the
name,
government plan to fail, but
Well, and there's some that out there that are doing good and some that aren't. The bigger
Yeah.
they get, the harder it is to control everything. So that's where they tend to use these.
well, then the marketplace could make the decision on that. I mean, you could find the craft growers that are growing the way you want and purchase that. That would
Exactly.
be okay. Still don't like that there's a whole bunch of people that aren't going to be included in the new system that should be. This huge, vibrant industry that's developed in Canada that's so mainstream. Those people need to be able to continue doing what they're doing. It's not the role of government to stifle business or to stop commerce from happening.
No.
It's to facilitate it, if anything.
free market, man, free market.
And these regulations that have no justification and this reefer madness that they're continuing, that's another area of concern for me, for sure, as well.
I see that TJ was asking whether we are on YouTube again, and yes, we are broadcasting live to YouTube. So if you're a Facebook watcher and you used to like watching on YouTube, you can go back.
I can watch this shit on my TV now.
And we managed to get our YouTube channel back. The YouTube government, the government of videos. They canceled our account or banned us or whatever they did temporarily. It was gone, and then now it's back again. So what do you know
They
about
probably
that?
just wanted to see how to do like a good YouTube weed page, so they had some variances for when legalization sweeps the world.
I'm confused as to why they would do that, why they would get rid of them and then let them back. Maybe it was that they were just basically going through axing anything weed related and then had to like take time to go through and look.
Possible.
But we got ours back. Remo, did he get his back? Remo got his back.
Got his back. He's
So-
still over on Vimo or whatever.
Didn't Weed Maps and other people get theirs axed too?
Yep.
So it was.
And WeedMac got forced to not advertise non-medical cannabis dispensaries in California or somewhere.
Oh really?
Like the ones that are maybe gray area-ish.
Yikes! They're cracking down. Well, it's a weird landscape. We're gonna keep fighting. There's gonna be wins here and there. We have municipalities that are gonna go all the way to what we want, and other ones that
Richmond.
are gonna not. And we need to really fight, I think, next for vapor lounges because it makes no sense having places that you can buy cannabis, but not having any place that you can smoke cannabis isn't legalization.
Colorado, Denver, the Denver model where they give you the carry-out bag so you know you have weed in it.
Yeah.
But you can't stop on the street and smoke a joint.
It's illegal to smoke in a park. They'll fine you. It's illegal to smoke in your
It's
car.
420.
It's illegal to smoke out in the street. And if you live in an apartment complex, it's illegal to smoke if your landlord doesn't want you to in your apartment. So...
And so many landlords and co-op places are
Happy 420.
condos
420
are
up there.
putting it in their bylaws. A friend of mine, they had him. What did they want? It was a pet. It was a pet clause or something. A separate little contract about allowing how many pets do you have? He has 3 cats, and so he signs the thing, and then he finds in the fine print of this pet clause that it says he can't be smoking marijuana in his suite. They snuck it in there into his pet clause.
Yeah, into his pet clause.
My dog's
They don't really
weed
need to. They don't need to do any of that because the legislation actually says that the landlords are allowed to discriminate against people.
Well, in that way, I'm sure they're talking about that they put those kind of
my
clauses in.
landlord in my apartment complex, they put a note up in the elevator that said "cannabis" in big quotes for some reason. Cannabis. And then it said, yeah, you're not allowed to smoke in your apartment, which has never been a problem before. People smoke cigarettes in their apartment. Mine is a smoking apartment complex. But I've been smoking in my complex since I got there, and the landlord was totally cool with it. The landlord would come and talk to me. I'd have bong in hand, not a problem. She was amazing. Got a new landlord now.
And she's cool with tobacco, but not with cannabis.
No, probably.
I think it says no smoking of anything now. So they just changed the smoking room. But people... I'm not going to stop smoking.
Those cigarette smokers are hardcore. They're hardcore than weed smokers. So
they are.
I used to be a cigarette smoker, and I used to
almost
sneak
like they're addicted.
six
It's
in like
addictive.
the hotel, you know, like in Toronto when it was cold out. Oh, gross. Smokes. Someone
Miranda, look at.
She just peeped the cigarettes around.
We've been testing this pen to see if it's good, and it gets a Neil's seal of approval. We've got these Kootenai pot pens. They're pretty good. Some people didn't like them, but I've been testing them.
I'm fussy. And everybody had like half a hoot off one.
I wasn't meaning you.
That's me.
I think it's good. It tastes good. J-Mac. So, yeah, we'll see where this Ontario thing goes. If it goes into Tweed's pocket, and it's like, oh, you have to have an LP to have a dispensary.
Well, that's what they're doing. The micro grows too, or whatever. So they have a micro franchise of Tweed that's the same thing, where they've been buying up
and like you get Canopy River is the Canopy Growth one, and yes, they're scooping up, and even at that, what is it? The International ICBC International Cannabis Hemp Conference or whatever the hell it's called, business conference. They did it was Canopy River, and on stage, Kirk Matt Barron, and Hillary Black, and they were doing like a Shark Tank idea, or where they basically, you know, oh, what's your cannabis idea? Come and we'll give you if you win, Canopy River will give you $1 million or something.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
millions of bucks.
But of course, they would own your idea.
Take your idea.
Take your idea in your business.
And they own all those other ideas that they didn't pay out $1 million for too.
Right on any.
You think they're just back there? They're just like writing notes, or like.
Well, it becomes their intellectual property. If you enter their contest and you give them your idea that you want to win with, they own your idea after that. So
is that true?
I don't know.
Neil.
That seems like
Neil just
that almost seems
well,
like
you know, I'm used to reading these contracts from like Facebook and shit, where you put your pictures or anything up there, they completely own it.
Zuckerberg has like my photo album at his place. He's like, check out Mr. Cookie's photo album,
totally.
everyone.
I bet he does.
I own this shit.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
if you start making money off that shit, guess who they're going to come after?
Yeah. And that's all weird, creepy.
Johnny B.
Did you hear Facebook actually, I think, dropped their stock prices like
19%.
19%, $12 billion.
$119 billion loss.
Was that how much it was?
The most ever in one day.
Well,
$119 billion loss in one day. In fact, the owner's portfolio went down like $6 billion all by itself. Zuckerberg.
I don't even think Zuckerberg had a portfolio before Facebook.
He's got more billions than he lost.
But now he's just like, oh, whatever. Oh, yeah.
All this money, it's just weird because it's stocks. It's like, it's all bubbles. It's like people invest in these things, and then these companies have all this money, but they haven't even really necessarily done anything that makes money.
I know.
You know, like all these weed companies, they haven't sold any weed. They don't have any grow operations, but they have $90 million.
Well, it's like all the
they have some
Tweed
contracts
and those
in
ones
place. I mean, and as they're negotiating other contracts, they get more leverage with the investors and stuff.
Sure.
They're servicing.
Or as they have more
the
people
vets,
on their
you know,
team.
with people with PTSD from the services, they're all buying, you know, using LP weed and those contracts. Somebody's is it Tweed that's negotiating with Shoppers Drug Mart or signed that contract now with Shoppers Drug Mart.
Right.
Aurora. I mean, that's huge for them.
And
their stock price would go through the roof.
Those are
on that.
acquisitions, like they just scoop up. They'll buy this company that doesn't even necessarily do anything either. They just buy it up and it's part of their portfolio, or they buy up people and have them on their team.
I mean, just having a particular celebrity can boost your value by millions of dollars.
Right. Well, any company that has Mr. Cookie on board, their stocks are going to go through the roof. So I've just been saying.
Well, why do you think?
I'm holding out.
Why do you think Canopy wanted Kirk Tucson and Matt Barron?
Absolutely.
Because it adds to because it gives them credibility.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. So
hopefully it put a mole into their midst. You know, we can only hope. We can only hope.
Kirk is a solid dude. So.
Well, he brings with him his ethics, and
yeah, he has good ethics. So, you know,
I always thought so. You know,
follows through and everything.
And he
sure
says openly that he's not being, silenced. That he's still able to speak out as whatever he wants. And I just hope that he's there to try to work from the inside to make the change that is what we're all looking for.
I guess when we have him on
the show, if he's there
to
advocate for shutting down dispensaries and continuing to criminalize the current market, then he's a traitor, and I don't want nothing to do with him. But I don't think that's the case.
I don't think that's the case either. If we have him on the show from now on, I guess we have to
hit him hard with questions.
Well,
let's find out where he's
represent him as his new role as the representative.
Use him as the tool he may have well become.
Kirk's
and I mean that in a nice way, Kirk.
Guest
I mean,
on
I do mean that in a nice way.
Kirk's done a lot of stuff for this movement.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Single-handedly battled it out through a lot of stuff.
He was my campaign manager back in 2004, I think, for the marijuana party. And I can only hope that he can only continue to do the good stuff that he's done. But now from the inside of an LP, which we all think is the enemy at this point. So we'll see how that all works.
Well, and what I'm hoping is the LPs turn
allies
into
eventually.
Us. Yeah, the LPs will have to turn into people like us eventually. Because
that's what I think too. They have to.
And there's always going to be bad corporations doing bad business and hurting people and doing things for profits, but that's not corporations in general. The cannabis culture is a corporation.
I think it is corporations in general. It's just not corporations specifically. There are good ones.
Good call.
Yeah.
Overall, a lot of corporations are bad.
Well, it doesn't mean they have to be
bad.
And
there's a lot of private people doing shitty things out there, too, but they're just not a big corporation.
Yeah, picking on the word corporation isn't rarely fair.
Well, but they got that rep, because of what some corporations represent and have done.
And that documentary called
lots of very shady things.
Sole proprietorships can do just as nasty things, I'm sure.
That's right.
Well, but not on such a large scale, usually.
I think what they're pointing out in the movie, the corporation, and it's a deeper philosophical thing about when you have a public corporation, for instance, you have a legal obligation to make your shareholders money.
Yeah.
And so that goes above any mandate you have to help humanity or
not hurt humanity.
Right.
Yeah.
Or not hurt humanity.
If you're not making
the bottom line is that the recall is going to cost more than the lawsuits for the injured people.
Right.
Then they have to go with what the shareholders would make the most money on, and that's really criminal in that sense.
And I think even deeper to the point in the movie, the corporation that's being made is that it's this weird faceless force of evil that ends up being created.
Well, force of profit, it becomes evil, right?
Right. Well, and it's because there's no liability. It's so that if you're,
there's no human beings.
You buy
it's all
shares in a corporation,
ethics.
You're an owner of that corporation, but if the corporation does something bad, you don't get in trouble for it. You don't go to jail for it. So a corporation can do all these horrible things, get away with them, and there's no repercussions for them, and there's no face to it either. It's not, well, I didn't do it. I just bought shares in something. I just bought Apple's product. I didn't know they were, making it overseas by little kids' hands.
If somebody in management or even upper management does get burned, well, they made off like bandits before that. Their penalties are going to be minimal at best. It's
right.
not good. And there's a lot of harm that's been done by some of that. But I look forward to the future when actual business, when human ethics gets its actual proper place in business ethics. Because a corporation that does look after what is the actual needs of the flesh and blood humans that they're servicing, they will do better in the end anyway. I think it's a good business decision to care about the actual interests of the people that you're serving rather than just the bottom line. So any corporation or any private company that gets that kind of a reputation has a loyal following and does very well because of it. So I hope all corporations and these cannabis corporations do that before too much longer, that they realize that by advocating for including the current dispensaries and the current market, that they will in the end have more customers and more loyalty from the cannabis community because of that.
Right. And I wish people did things out of the goodness of their heart, but when you're dealing with business, usually they're thinking of their bottom lines. But as you know, green businesses should do better, will do better very often time than companies who aren't paying attention, because people buy with their dollar or vote with their dollar, and they'll go for companies that are doing greener initiatives.
Lots of companies have been set by the wayside because of policies that the public found out about and didn't like.
Totally.
So,
Yep.
It's in their best interest to be good, Earth citizens and societal citizens as well.
Yeah. Yes. Well, there's our philosophical conversation for the day. Business philosophy.
Back to getting high.
Yes. No, I know. I find myself, it's funny, as I get a little older and work more as a business person, I start to become more of a conservative when it comes to these laws and stuff, like based on regulations. Like, I'm finding myself more like Ayn Rand. It's like the book Atlas Shrugged, this whole idea that government intervention causes all these nasty problems all the time. There's a lot of truth to that. Yeah. I think obviously you have to take what she writes.
A lot of good examples of that. It doesn't
with a grain
always,
of salt.
isn't always
I'm not
the
a
case,
Randian, but yeah, definitely not.
And that's what we have to be careful about with governments and what kind of powers we give them and what we allow them to do. And that's why this is such a crucial issue with the cannabis, because they're lying through their teeth about all this reefer madness and harming the developing brain and public safety issues and all the rest of that. And they need to be taken to task for that, and it needs to be exposed that government should not be doing that type of stuff. They should not be imposing regulation without justification, for example.
Absolutely, because it hurts people.
It hurts people.
And that's what prohibition. That's what prohibition is.
Yeah.
It's regulating things that don't need to be regulated, and it causes pain and suffering for people.
Yeah.
Prohibition causes so much more harm.
Regulation can be good.
Themselves.
Over-regulation can be not good. And prohibition seldom works in any form.
Yeah, I don't think you should let greedy people run wild and do anything they want.
Or non-pot smokers make decisions about what pot smokers should and shouldn't be doing. Seen this guy on Global the other night talking about, he works up in the mountains, and he's talking about how people should not be bringing their cannabis on their hiking trips. Like, that's what we do. Does he not understand?
That's where we're smoking
that's exactly
the
what
cannabis.
people who use cannabis do, is they go hiking up in the hills and enjoy nature.
I saw that. I know,
so
they're
funny,
like,
really.
It's so dangerous.
Yeah,
but did you see the reasons why it was dangerous, or what the examples they gave in that
Bears will
article?
get high.
That guy said there was 3 instances recently of people acting wild out in the wild.
Acting wild.
And what it was one of them took acid.
Right.
And the
LSD
other ones
25?
were the other ones were like so ridiculous. It was more
10 grams of mushrooms and
yeah, it was like stuff.
Are they
that,
not reporting the crazy alcohol events anymore, because like every day on the mountains there's alcohol?
Yeah, and those people are sick, throwing up,
but that's not
down,
a drug,
falling
of
off
course.
cliffs. Yeah, no. Yeah, that was really stupid. I wish I could remember those specific examples that they gave, but I was like, this is Reefer Madness.
We needed laugh tracks to just post with all those different things as we post them. It should come with laugh tracks.
They should.
we're about to break in the new Micro Sister. Shout out to Serge over at the Brewer Shop in Amsterdam. Thanks for this.
Very cool. And it's got its official brewer tag on it there.
So you know it's legit. Not a,
Looks like it's from a science lab, doesn't it?
Not a knockoff.
It's like a beaker from a science lab.
It's probably good.
It is beakerish.
Yes, it's
just like a mini beaker.
Bunsen and beaker.
Old school, where we used to make pipes out of beakers.
Yeah, I guess that's where it got started. They're just knocking off your old beaker, Neil.
Yeah, we used to do that in science class.
Yeah.
Pretty close.
Shh. The
Great
bong
head
game.
science.
The bong game's all
We
knockoffs.
weren't dabbing concentrates, though, for the most part. Sometimes some hash.
They're talking about Cheers in the chat. Cheers is my favorite show, or one of my favorite shows.
I can remember the first.
Still watch it.
Is that
to this
still
day.
running?
I built High Score. No, it's not still running. I actually built High Score with Cheers in mind in a big way. We have a beautiful bar in there that's made of like dark, beautiful wood, and
There's a guy named Norm that's paid to
There's
sit
a
in the
guy
corner.
named
Cookie.
Norm. That's J-Mac. Yeah. He walks in, yeah. But if you like vintage video games, come by 649 East Hastings. Gonna keep dropping that.
I will be there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I will.
I think so, yeah, but I will.
Yeah, you haven't been there yet.
Daily. I will be
It's
there
open to
daily.
friends and fams, so come
I know
on
when I was
down.
supposed to. I was by there too.
You can see the bright sign outside that looks like this.
Well, I seen the staff outside smoking cigs.
You'll see me
And if you want a shirt, we should have them available for purchase like right away. So if anybody wants a shirt, send me a message at jeremiah@cannabisculture.com.
You have them in the store downstairs?
Not yet. We will. We'd love to be able to do more high score lounges too. Maybe one in Toronto.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Edmonton, apparently they're going to have pretty lax regulations.
Yeah, Edmonton Oilers.
That's right. It's the Alberta model.
That's what we used to
Edmonton
call.
Oilers.
That's what we used to call
Didn't
oil when we were younger on the
Yeah.
phone. Be like, "You're gonna watch the Edmonton Oilers tonight," and that meant we go smoke oil.
The Edmonton 710ers.
Yeah.
We should have an Oilers jersey flipped upside down so it says 710. Get the
Or
logo.
just get the colors with 710 on the back.
Yeah.
I think on Cannabis Day I could have a backup of 7 tenors helping me with cannabis.
Yeah,
Ooh,
there you
7
go.
tenors.
The 710ers. You could.
That's good.
And they all are actual tenors.
Yeah.
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 And one of them plays the tenor saxophone.
I used to play the tenor saxophone actually.
Did you?
but-
I played the alto.
Sam? That was high school, or no, even grade school, I think.
I played
Mine
the
was
trumpet.
in
We could maybe
grade
do
school,
something,
yeah.
guys.
At the drums.
All right, we got a band right here.
Fucking shitty torch here out of propane, but that's
We
fine.
could.
Butane.
I don't play that instrument anymore though.
Just wait. You gotta
Wish-
wait like a
wish I
minute.
could
So
remember.
I'm going to go here pretty quick, but if I can take a minute to plug the Cannabis
You can
Substitution
take
project,
50
I'd like to do
seconds.
that.
Please,
Um,
please do.
Plug
We
it.
just
Oh, do you
finished
need-
our
it's not hot?
98th event
Oh, okay.
of the
You
Cannabis
tell me when to go?
Substitution project. 98 times we've gone to Vandu and handed out free edibles and cannabis to people.
Nice.
So
Almost
this,
a
Good work
hundo.
on that, Neil.
yeah, this Sunday will be number 99, and next
Ooh,
Thursday will be
Gretzky, the
100.
great one.
We've never missed. Twice we did go to Thornton Park to have Cannabis Day on the day that the event at Vandu was happening, so we just moved it to Thornton Park. But yeah, 98 times in a row we've gone there and helped out a huge lineup of people with edibles. And lots of good reports coming back from the people that we've been helping. There's people that have been off their street drugs for a long time thanks to our project being there. We've been twice a week since February, going Thursdays and Sundays. So we're pretty much giving people enough to get right through the whole week for the most part. And I want to thank
Ready?
all of our sponsors for doing that. Green Wilderness has been there for over a year. Supplying us with gummies every single time, like thousands of dollars worth of gummies every single time. And they're now in some trouble because of new legalization. Many of the dispensaries that they were selling their gummies to are no longer able to take their gummies to try to align with these new regulations. And so they're not being able to donate to the same way that they were before. Although I did get a really nice donation from them this past, for yesterday, because their uncle passed away from a drug overdose on the downtown east side, and the family put together a bunch of their money and made a bunch of gummies for us to hand out there. So that's very sad as well.
awesome.
Sad that they're losing
Sad
their
and-
business.
yeah.
You know, and then what happened to their family member as well. So Green Wilderness, if you find a way to support them, that'd be awesome. The Medicinal Cannabis Dispensary has helped us since the very beginning as well, almost the very beginning. They're the ones that give us the flowers and the trim that we need to make the baked goods and to make the joints that we do.
Yep.
And we would not be successful without them for sure. And we do need more donations of that type of thing as well. Michael the Cookie Monster has been a year as well of supplying us with these really wholesome cookies. Every time that we do that, we've got these cookies for people.
Is that name
They're
envy
nut
cookie?
free. And yeah, you know, we got cookies sitting right here. Well,
Competition
we've
with
had
that,
cookies with the CSP, you know, for over a year. For the first time in a year, Michael didn't have cookies for us on Thursday because he's struggling with bronchitis. If you're watching, Michael, hope you're feeling better. I hope you get over that real quick, and we're looking forward to having you back. And thank you so much for your contribution. There's been a bunch of people that have helped us over the years. Weeds started out helping us to get us going. Apothecary Labs has been awesome with the random donations of caps and dog treats that are hemp-based as well.
Cool.
So many others.
Lots of
Cannabis
dogs.
Culture has been a regular supporter of us as well. And we would like to continue this with more. Move the Movement is a new one that's also supplying us with gummies. And yeah, thanks for all your help. Thanks for everybody that contributes to this. This is all volunteer run and all donation run. And it's been helping many, many people for almost a year and a half now. We're into our 17th month. So that's incredible. Thank you so much.
Fantastic work, Neil.
And I would
Seriously
like
doing
to
good
say
stuff.
To you, Neil, as a person who receives your packages on occasion, I must say thank you so much. Guys, he does this for no money at all.
Everybody that works for us does it for no money.
Everybody who gets to go see them always leaves happy, and they're not in pain. And on I should know before you did that, I could not even get edibles. Now when I need edibles, I go see Neil on Sundays or Thursdays at Vandu, and it's like I'm like better, like calmer.
I'll really happy that you're getting help from our program, and
So I want to thank you.
thrilled that people are doing that. And I'd be remiss not to mention the volunteers. Jen helps me every week behind the desk. Andrew looks after all the rest of the volunteers. Larry's looking after the Holy Rollers. We've got a good crew of people rolling every week, and that's an awesome scene too. You know, we come there. There's a long lineup waiting for us. We descend on Vandu, this space that's used for, you know, the poor and the oppressed and the hard drug users, you know, of our world are congregating there, and it's a pretty sullen place most of the time. There's a fair amount of negative drama that happens there fairly regularly. And when we show up, the people there, the staff at Vandu, they say there's just a whole new attitude of everybody's happy and up, and it's a really good time, and you know, that we bring to that space and positive energy. And these volunteers, and they never miss. They're there every single week. Without them, it wouldn't work. Without our donators, it wouldn't work. It's a fabulous thing that's happening there. I'm very proud of our community for doing all of that.
Landlords getting some love in the chat.
Landlords are a recipient of our
Landlord,
care
what's
package as
up,
well. And I'm sure
Landlord?
he has good things to say about us. And
Landlords,
for
one
me,
of the
you know,
Holy Rollers too.
you know, J-Max says I don't get paid for this, but I don't take money for it. But there's a reward that happens when you're helping people that you can't put a price tag on. And I'm a very blessed human being to be in the position of being able to do this. And I have so many people express that to me on a regular basis. It's humbling, but it really feeds me a lot of energy, and I'm paid very, very well in thank yous and appreciation and the knowledge that I'm helping people.
And that, no kidding. Carly Marley.
Don't put me on camera. No. I'm in the
Rah,
middle of
rah,
moving.
rah.
I'm not camera ready right now.
There she is.
But I did want to say I went down to get some footage from the 1-year anniversary of the Cannabis Substitution project, and I had a feeling that it was going to be a pretty profound experience, but I was really blown away by the impact that it had. People were excited to be there, and the amount of people I talked to that said my life is different, and not just because of the people that are helping here at this amazing place, specifically because of this program. This program is what's helping me not use opioids, and I've been clean off opioids and only using cannabis. And it was, I remember as soon as I finished going down to get some footage with you, I called Jeremiah, and I was very emotional because I could not believe the impact. Like, whatever we're describing here and whatever
Can we turn this camera on for a second?
No.
Aw, you have a
Whatever,
lollipop.
no.
You have a jawbreaker. Yeah,
I
turn it
look
on.
so
Turn it on.
stupid. I'm
No,
so
you look good. Look good.
It's good.
She's got a lollipop jawbreaker.
There you go.
And you're telling an emotional speech here. You should got to do this on camera.
It was. And I've been working on the footage, and it's an amazing project. And when you actually go down and see it, whatever we can hear about the impact that Neil is making, when you actually see it in person, the mass number of people that are lining up, anxious, hopeful that they're gonna be one of the people who got there soon enough to get a pack, you realize how many people in this city's lives are being massively improved by this. It is no small feat. It is a huge thing that's going on in Vancouver right now, and it is directly saving people's lives. Not just, you know, in theory, you meet people and they say, I would probably have overdosed on something by now if I hadn't been clean for as long as I am because of this cannabis substitution project. So just so our viewers know how amazing it is. Thank you.
It's
Thank
an
you, Carly.
amazing
Thank you, Carly
program.
Marley.
Thank you, Carly Marley.
I'm listening to biking regularly because
Mountain bike.
Yeah.
You got a mountain bike now.
I'm now mountain biking, guys, because of the help I'm getting from you. Because now I know that I can get medication that will help me. So again, yeah.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Thank you
Yeah.
from me as a spokesperson for everybody who helped, to you.
Saving lives,
Thank
Neil.
you. So
Cannabis
Goddamn
is what's making
superhero.
the difference. It's cannabis that's
Goddamn superhero.
Like I said,
Thank
there's a whole
you.
bunch of people involved. It doesn't work without donations and without volunteers. So
That's true. You're very humble.
We're coming
Neil.
up to 100.
You're very humble, but
if you want an
you
emotional
make this happen,
experience,
Neil.
if you want to, feel like you've really been to something special, come on down and see what we do there Thursdays and Sundays at noon. Next Thursday will be our 100th anniversary. If you've got edibles kicking around, don't throw any of that stuff out if it's good. Bring it down to us, and we'll get it into the right hands. And yeah, let's keep this going because we are saving lives. We are making such a huge difference. So I don't know if I thought 17 months ago that I'd still be here 17 months later doing this twice a week and stuff, but I don't think there's any end in sight at this point. It's going to have to become some sort of a real program that's run, in a more profound way than we're already doing it, because so many people are being helped. We're on the cusp of moving into a storefront, of setting up a medical cannabis dispensary in conjunction with the Cannabis Substitution Project, and registering people going on a daily basis.
Did you find a
and that kind of
location
thing.
yet?
That's the only thing holding us back is we just haven't found a
You
location.
know what?
I will
Let me
you.
put you in touch with our realtor.
Sure. Yeah. That's the only thing holding us back. There's money in hand ready to go, not from the CSP, but from a group that wants to partner with us. And on that note, I would like to mention Move the Movement.
Yes.
It's a fantastic project that's collecting people's stories of how cannabis has helped them in their journey. And they're putting together a huge database of people's stories on video. A number of very prominent people have already taken part in this project, and we would like your story. We need everybody's story because
Yes.
the forces that be are still not telling the truth, and they're spouting Reefer Madness, and people's actual stories from their heart are very moving and really do give people a truthful idea of what cannabis is all about. One of the issues I had with Bill Blair coming to that town hall meeting a couple of weeks ago was that they're not there talking about any of the benefits of cannabis. And that's what really needs to be talked about. So if you've benefited from cannabis, please go to Move the Movement. You can Google it and that'll come up, and tell your story and be part of this amazing database.
We have
of
materials from
stories.
them to put out. I don't know. Those are at High Score, I think. We got to bring
Yeah,
those
there
over
are some
here.
brochures around. And
Yeah,
stuff.
they've got some great materials that talk about what they do and stuff. We should definitely show them off on
Yeah,
the show. And
it's awesome, and
check out their
let's all take
website.
part in that, and then add our stories to the mix. I'm sure we all have stories, profound stories, about how cannabis has helped us in our lives.
Well,
and then we should do another one about how Prohibition has hurt, I think, and I don't know if that already might be taken up too, but those two things is a big part of all of our stories, is how we've been harmed by Prohibition and how we've been helped by cannabis. So, yeah. Before I go, on another note, I'd like to quickly promote Saskatoon. The Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup is coming up. And,
Friendliest Cup in Canada.
you know,
the Friendliest Cup, man, that's coming up soon, huh?
yeah, it's coming.
Sorry.
2 months basically, but that's like 8 weeks or 9 weeks or
Holy
something.
moly.
It goes
And
really quick.
And the Karma Cup,
Karma Cup too.
Karma
September
Cup.
in
9th.
Toronto.
8th and 9th? Or, I don't know.
Uh,
When is, hold on, let me look it up. Sarah would be.
All I know is that it's
Yeah,
in
we don't
Toronto.
Get your
Yeah.
dates right.
Sarah, we're
For
getting
for
ready.
We're getting
for the Harvest Cup in
When's the Harvest Cup?
Saskatoon,
Look
it's
this
the
up.
28th,
So I
29th, and
forget.
30th of September. By the way,
She's gonna have to come on the show over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, she
And
should
you
be
should
on
get
the
Jeff
show
on
this
too.
week too.
We should.
Oh, entries came in today, so that's why.
8th and 9th. See, I knew what I was.
See, I was right one day, you were right the other.
Yeah,
so
that's
we're
right.
what month?
So Karma Cup
September
September.
and the Prairie Medicinal Harvest Cup.
is in October.
Two
September
amazing cups.
28th,
You should
29th,
go
and
to both
30th.
of them.
Yeah,
What's that? Oh, Budcam. Sure.
one in Toronto. Awesome
Dun, dun,
location.
dun, dun.
There it is. General admission. Get your tickets.
Yeah.
You can
Karma
still
Cup, the
be
one
a
with
judge,
most-
I
the
think.
most
You can
entries,
apply to
maybe?
that.
And here, let's see the Sask Prairie Cup website.
Yeah, if you want to
South
judge
Prairie
the
Cup.
Karma Cup, I'm pretty sure you can just apply online. You just have to be over 19.
Do they have like
to prove it.
more things to judge than
That's
anybody
it.
else there? Cookie?
Pardon?
They do.
Do they
have a
have
big
more
bag.
things to judge than anybody else at the Karma Cup?
They did. They had over, what, 100 units or something were in
Wow.
their thing.
I don't know if I'm allowed to announce this, but Sarah was saying that she's going for around there. Around a good 100.
I think that's what it was, or 71 entries.
They
People
have
still have some
those.
left by the time the Prairie Cup comes along.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I had all the edibles.
Prairie
and stuff.
Medicinal Harvest Cup.
Oh, right there too. What's these dates?
Online passes
September
now available. When is
28th
it?
and 30th. Oh, at
28th
the end of
to-
September.
September 28th.
What, now it's not Cuptober anymore, people?
I know,
it's
it's Cup-
fucking
Cuptember.
September.
Hey, look, the cold
Cup,
weather sets
cup.
in there when, really
Sep
harsh
cup.
when it does, so a little earlier is better probably.
I like Cuptember better.
Sep Cup.
Sep Cup. No, I don't know, man. There's too many of these damn
It's
things.
nicer weather
These
in
are the two
September.
good ones.
Well, yeah, and they're the
Yeah.
old.
These
old
are the
ones.
yeah. These are the ones
Ber-
you gotta
Berry
go
Cup's been
to.
around for 8 years now.
Yeah,
I'm
amazing.
having trouble going to any of them, but yeah.
Nobody's inviting
I
me to
can't
anything.
do
anymore.
any that are not in Vancouver.
High Times
so-
just did theirs in Amsterdam,
Yeah, I heard
but
it
they
was
don't
good.
announce these things until
They did it like 3 weeks before. They're like, "Oh,
So-
doing a cup in Amsterdam." It's like
Cowichan Valley, is High Times coming back to that, or what's
we're-
going on?
We're
Because
waiting to hear on that. There's
I thought that was kind of cool.
if they don't put on a show this year there, then that contract reverts back to the original owners. That's part of the deal. They had to continue to put on a Cannabis Cup there.
Oh.
Yes, that is the deal. So everyone's just waiting to see what's going on.
Yeah,
We could have the Bio Cup back.
could have the
there.
Bio Cup back. Yeah.
Good.
That'd be nice.
They'd be happy
Well,
with that.
everything. It's always fun to have High Times there too.
High Times was awesome,
Yeah. So I don't know.
but
I had
something you
fun
gotta
with
have
High
something
Times.
there.
I hope High Times does it and does it right.
Yeah,
yeah.
they
'Cause-
learned a lot last time, and
Yeah.
I was hoping they'd come back and really do a good one.
Yeah. And I actually thought it was pretty fun.
I had
Yeah.
a great time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Got super stoned, and that was about it. Listened to some good bands, except for the no bringing your weed in there, and they give everyone a really hard time.
I think
It's
that's
kind
one of the things they
harsh in my
learned.
Buzz, but whatever.
It was.
They assured me they would not have that way again.
yeah.
with the
actually,
security doing the harshness.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, they were
you
like-
could be
Popping
out there
my
with your
vibes.
beer, but you couldn't have a joint going. That was pretty weird.
But you could smoke in the VIP
Well,
Cannabis- at a
section
Cannabis Cup.
They
upstairs.
Danny from High Times was saying that they are not going to do it like that next year.
Yeah, it was something to do with like the liquor permits, and they have to
Right.
apply for this.
Yeah, there was
other
things
part
in
of it.
place they couldn't change.
Yeah. So whatever, it is what it is, and
They
it
did their best
was.
with what they had, but like I said, there was lots of things that they learned, and I think they could really put on a great cup if they did it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to hoot my weed. No, I put my like med-tainer. I like crotched a med-tainer with joints in it.
That's why you were walking like that.
and
the whole
went
time.
into the concert, and then like once you're in like the VIP platform,
Jumbo Medtainer.
Yeah, then you're
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you could just smoke freely, but you couldn't get weed there. It was like, and there was no weed supplied there, so it was like.
I wore my Justin Trudeau mask at some point during one of the concerts, and I was smoking a joint down on in the area out in front, and they didn't come and bother me when I had that mask.
Well,
on,
they
so I
thought you
that
was
They were
Prime
just
Minister?
Justin
Yeah,
there,
they-
like,
yeah.
well, let the
Privilege.
Let Pierre.
Maybe they
there
thought it was a
smoke
fake
there.
joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a great costume with that face mask.
Hey,
It's creepy
Pride
and-
Parade, by the
Oh,
way,
it's
coming
so
up next Sunday.
Yeah.
We're not allowed in the Pride Parade as Sensible BC because an LP, I won't even mention their name even if I knew it, has bought the one spot that they have for a cannabis-related float, which wasn't true. They had more spots than that, but this LP decided they want exclusivity.
But wait,
and,
where is this information coming from?
From
A
Sensible
reliable
BC?
source? Sensible BC?
Really?
Yeah, that's
Email was
that's
sent
from
to them.
Dana himself. Yep.
How can that be?
But in the previous
Talk
years,
about
London
we
Drugs
had-
not
and,
inclusive.
London Drugs and
Well,
Shoppers Drug Mart both have a flow.
I know for a fact that we had the Vancouver Seed Bank in there. The same year we had the cannabis.
Oh yeah, no, that wasn't
They
their
don't do
policy.
it.
It wasn't their policy that they only
That's
allowed
not
one.
right.
That became their policy because the
Oh, the other
LP
one said, like,
paid
no
for
one should be only
exclusivity.
one.
Didn't want anybody
No.
else.
That's
Yeah.
shady if it
They're going to
was.
bar people from joining in the parade because a company bought it.
Yep. How wrong is that for a parade that was
That-
based on freedom?
that better
We're
be-
gonna have to
and
team up with the
inclusivity.
cops
Well,
on
that's
this
got to
one,
be a
boys.
fucking news story straight up.
That's a big news story. I've had one of my friends
can
who's in
that
that community
be?
look into it.
Let's protest the Pride Parade.
Let's get
I
the
think
cops
so.
in on this because they're not
Yeah.
allowed in the parade either.
Now we're
so
allies with the cops.
Yeah, get them in the parade.
Arm in arm there. We're like,
So aren't they? The Pride Parade's already being protested because the cops are in it. Isn't that right?
or something. No,
So
they're
I'm
not
pretty
allowed.
sure.
the
I'm pretty
cop-
sure Black Lives Matter
Yeah,
is
the cop-
protesting the Pride people at the Pride Parade because the police are allowed in the parade.
That's not in Vancouver, though, is it?
Only
Or
in
is
Oh,
it?
maybe that's not
civilian
Vancouver.
clothes.
Yeah. That,
Only in civilian
I thought,
clothes.
yeah, man, I don't
They
know.
cannot wear the
only black
uniform.
police officers are allowed to march in the
I
parade.
thought that was it. It was a Vancouver issue. It was on my Apple Canadian News. Maybe it's Toronto. I don't know, man. See, I'm just spouting off things I don't
Two
know
joints
anything about.
protests my shirt.
I wanted to talk about these names, though. Did you see these names?
Makona.
Makona.
Magic Smoke.
Mafafa.
Mafafa.
I'm always puffing
Mafafa.
on that magic
I
smoke.
love that
Magic
Mafafa.
smoke.
The Manhattan Silver.
If they don't have magical vapors on that list, then they're not paying
Manhattan
attention.
Silver. That's dope.
Maracachapa.
Or Maria for short, apparently.
Maria. Marimba.
Maraquita? That sounds like a drink.
Yeah, what are these guys just making up names? They're like
Mary Ann.
Mary Ann, it's a sister of Mary Jane.
It
a
is, there's Mary
different
Jane.
strain.
There's Mary
There-
Jane.
Mary
We
Lou.
got a whole bunch of Mary. We got Mary Jones.
Ooh, Mary Lou. That's when you're Jonesing.
Mary Jones.
I'm hurting. You
Mary
got that Mary
Warner.
Jones.
I warned her about
Mary
that.
Warner.
Oh my God.
Of
Mary
course.
Weaver.
Mary Warner.
Like, come on now.
This is
Mary
crazy.
Weaver.
Matchbox.
Got any of that
20.
Mary Weaver stuff going on?
Matraca.
This is good.
Maui.
When are they going to start listing strains? Oh, Maui Wowie. There you
Yeah,
go.
there's Maui Wowie.
My taxi driver said he used
Meg.
to get, I forget what he told me, Colombian Maui and something other. So he had them mixed up. I'm like, no, it's like Maui Wowie and Colombian
Method.
Gold.
Like
I had
method
Maui
merch.
Wowie in Hawaii.
Merch.
I had Kona Gold in Hawaii too.
I had lots of that Mexican brown.
Mexicali.
Yeah, I used to get that stuff in bricks.
Yeah.
Mexicali haze.
Wow.
The
Mexican.
Mexican brown. Yeah, that's delicious.
Green.
Mexican green.
That's the one. That's the one you want.
We want the Mexican gold, man. We want the Mexican gold.
Or the red, sun cured. MMJ.
MMJ. Free
They're
plug
like,
for MMJ.
Nice.
MMJ, who also won their Board of Variance hearing for their 12th and commercial store, Clark store, which means they now have to stop using all of their current suppliers, change all their branding, and go with LP weed.
Ah,
Yay!
Are they
They're
gonna-
lucky.
Maybe.
they're gonna do it
Maybe.
right away.
You think they're
They're
going
in
to
the
be
process.
backdooring it?
Same thing with the Pain Management
Backdoor.
Society on commercial there. They've gotten rid of all their edibles. There's no sign of those butter edibles at all. They do have their smoothie drinks, but they had Inspector Kyle from the city come and tell them that they had to get rid of those, but otherwise they're doing just fine and complying. Yay.
What they said?
Can't have your smoothie or your butter.
Does he have
Confused.
a license then?
Yep.
It's already in place.
They're that close or something like that. Maybe they have it already. I'm not sure.
Wow,
But they're certainly in that process of getting it
that's really amazing.
and complying because of it. So.
Oh, I had to say a huge thank you to Butter King and the people there for Butter King got me a birthday present,
Oh, nice.
and it was a portrait of me. It's a painting.
Nice.
I have it outside. I should have brought it. It's by Alan Sayers.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Yeah, so it's an Alan Sayers of
Yeah,
me.
it's an Alan Sayers.
Yeah.
There you go. Cool.
Yeah, with a quote.
About
of
time.
mine. Yeah.
What's your
Yeah.
quote?
I'm gonna have to grab it because I forget what the
Yeah.
actual exact quote.
Wouldn't
I don't
want you to
wanna butcher
misquote
it.
your quote
I
yourself.
don't exactly. I don't want to
Misquote.
butcher the quote. Yeah. Oh yeah, we also have a video.
Probably
to
hello,
run,
political junkies and
But I
potheads.
got to say thank you. That's really amazing that he did that.
That is.
They presented it to me at Cannabis Day on my birthday, up on stage.
Nice.
Pretty amazing. So thanks, man. Really appreciate that.
That was
Love you
supposed to
guys big
happen when
time.
we sang "Happy Birthday" to you on stage, but I guess it happened before that or something.
I think they did give it to me when you sang "Happy Birthday." I don't even remember. You guys.
Because I didn't
It
see
makes
it happening,
sense.
but
It's
I knew it
always
was
so
supposed to happen,
embarrassing.
and I said, "Hey, what about the portrait?" And they said he's already got it. So I'm not sure when that happened.
I am.
Holding it.
I'm extremely lucky. Every year I have this massive crowd sing me "Happy Birthday." That's just insane to me. It's just so weird. It's like literally thousands of people sing me my birthday.
You were kind of born to do the Cannabis Day rally thing.
I guess so. I
Yeah.
literally was born to do them.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So there you go.
I've been celebrating Cannabis Day your whole life.
Yeah. And I always get some sort of fireworks or big party for my birthday, so I'm always used to partying hard on my birthday.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Lucky guy.
Canada's-
I guess your
Canada's
family's
Born on the
relieved that.
Sunday. I'm very lucky.
Since you started working here, I guess your family's relieved they don't have to put on the show anymore for you.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. They always put on their own fireworks for me too.
They do. Eh?
My
Fireworks.
mom made me one year a hamburger cake. Like it looked like a big hamburger,
Ah.
and it's like. But
I thought it was like a real hamburger looking like a cake.
That's like the coolest thing ever.
That'd be the biggest
Cake.
hamburger.
It was a big actual hamburger. No, it was cake. Yeah.
Nice.
It was delicious.
Did it taste like hamburger? Have hamburger icing?
Yeah, she's mustard as
Relish?
You're like, tangy. It might be good on cake. You never know. I had a pogo the other day. It's like cake, fried cake around a hot dog.
Oh, a pogo.
Yeah.
Corn dog, sort of.
American style.
Yeah, I don't know if you can quite call it a real corn dog, but it's a pogo.
Sweet dog.
Yeah, I wonder, eh?
Sweet
Because it was a
dog.
pogo.
They
Set
smell.
it on the
Here's the
stick.
thing about those is they kind of smell better than they taste.
Yeah.
You know, they just smell so good, and then you bite into it and you're like, oh.
I went to La Bella Poutine shop there on Davie Street. And I decided, I was like, a pogo. I'm like, yeah, give me one of those.
If it's really deep fried though.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Yeah, well that's pretty good.
They do a good job there.
But usually you just throw them in the oven, you know? They come frozen in the freezer aisle.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that.
And it's pogo possum on the box.
They that you got the skin.
I'm pretty sure that's true. Pogo Possum was on the box of Pogo.
Back
you know
in
the
the
cartoon
day?
character? No, even still. I used to work at the grocery store, and when I worked there, he was on the box
I
still.
don't think he is anymore. I think it's just Pogo. They
Really?
stand
Just says
behind
Pogo.
The red, yellow, the red, white, and blue.
Well, he's not. Nobody probably knows who he is anymore. You know.
Well, after at the factory, I hope they
Pogo
know. They
Possum.
like find this old box. They're like, "What is this?"
Yeah. I barely even knew who Pogo Possum was back, 10 years ago or whenever. Wait,
Pogo
20
Man.
years ago? Jeez, I'm old now. When I used to work at a grocery store.
Produce section. It was always good.
I worked in the dairy and the bulk food section in the grocery
That'd be
department.
good too, but
Yeah.
bad. That's why I don't eat candy anymore. I used to fill up these stupid vending machines for a while, and I always had these big boxes of candy kicking around, like 25-pound boxes of like M&Ms and shit.
Yeah.
And when you hit one of those hard, it's like too much. You're done.
Uh-huh.
You just ruined it, you know?
It's true. You can go a little overboard. I went to Bulk Barn
Ugh.
a couple days ago, but I was loading up candy, vintage candy, for High Score.
Oh, okay.
So at High Score, you can get vintage candy. You can go and get 5-cent candy and fill up your bag with as many as you want. For $1.50, you actually get a quite nice big chunk of candy.
Where is?
What's that?
Where's Bulk Barn?
That I'm talking about a High Score. But Bulk Barn is Bulk Barn is in New West, or no, sorry, North Vancouver. Yeah, there might be one in New West, but the one I went to is in North Van.
Yeah, there ain't too many of them around.
No, that's the only one I've ever seen. High Score is
Score's-
649 East Hastings Street.
That's a lucky number.
It is very lucky.
Not for most people. For some people.
Yeah, well, that's
For
true.
the corporation, it is.
You're right.
The 649 Corporation.
Yeah. Very lucky.
You wear your tickets?
I got my tickets in my pocket from like a month ago.
649, 1 in 13 million chance of winning. Something like that.
Don't forget.
Fuck, that'd be
13
awesome
guys.
chance, man.
We only have to play 13 million.
I see lots of
That's not-
I'm always down the downtown east side, and for some reason I always see like people that are like disenfranchised and just put out there, and they're buying lottery tickets all the time, and I'm like, are they gonna win? Like, what? Is this like a good thing, or will it be bad? Like they win and they're like,
Worst odds of anything you can bet on.
I know it's
a
like
tax on the poor and the dumb.
Yeah.
it's a promise. That's what it is.
But somebody does win, though.
Well, you get to feel excited. While
Somebody
you're
does win. And the luck, if you are really lucky,
true.
you never know what could happen.
Lotto 710, you can win oil.
$10 is $10, man. The
See you,
book-
Neil.
Later,
Thanks for
Neil.
coming on the show. Superhero activist Neil Magnuson
Doing his
has
thing.
left the building.
In the
Doing
building.
his thing. So yeah, we went kind of off on a tangent through like Bulk Barn and I don't know where.
Fucking ripped through the bulk barn. We ended up in fucking
But in town
the
last
workshop,
weekend,
Amsterdam.
did you go to Yellow Submarine?
Ooh.
Yen Pop.
Give me that
Yerba.
yerba.
Give me that yerba, mate.
They're like yerba mate?
Yeska. The mate. Young girls. Wow. Zacate. Don't know.
That kid.
Cicadas?
Zambi.
Zipper, yeah.
Zacatecas.
Zoomies, that's shrooms. Oh,
Zip.
marijuana mixed with
Hey, me got any zip?
magic mushrooms.
Nice.
PCP.
With PCP.
What? Don't fucking give me no zoom
This is the
then.
DEA.
710.
710.
BNHO.
But no. BHO.
That's because I hear people saying BHO, no.
BHO, no.
The bubble hash.
Oh.
Finally made it.
Wise. Yeah, finally made it. Is this
I
the
had to
first
show the
year?
Kawartha the Lakes police a picture of bubble hash on the internet because he had a bag of bubble hash that I had and he was calling it MDMA.
Why Fran Drescher?
And I was like, what?
Because your weed's loud like Fran Drescher. That's a lyric from Belly, the rapper.
Oh,
I think.
from the movie.
Not from the movie Belly, with starring Nos.
Yeah.
I know that movie. And Fran Drescher, she was in Belly.
Crystalline.
Yeah.
Crumble. Dabs.
Yeah.
Dipper. Earwax. Gross. Edibles.
Edibles.
E-nail.
So-
Get my e-nail on. Oh, we didn't set up the
They're
email
not
from.
specifying. They're
what's
just
the
saying
email from?
any words that are related to weed.
Full melt glob.
Glob.
I heard them say glob. Let's go. Let's go. Let's
Put
go.
glob on the list. Gorilla Glue.
Eddie.
And Gorilla Glue and Hetty don't have a semicolon.
Gorilla Glue Hetty then, huh?
Maybe it was like on another line or something.
He was like talking about a Hetty pipe he smoked Gorilla Glue in. They're like, they're clear with a
Like,
K.
Hetty Gorilla Glue. Wow.
They're clear with a K.
Nice. So funny. Live resin. Moon rocks made the list. Woo!
Rosin. Shout out to
Wow.
Soil Growing Sal.
Rosin Tech. Shout out to Johnny B.
Yeah.
Not on the show today. Souse. The Souse.
Sap.
Wow.
Solventless.
Nice. This is kind of fun,
Terp
actually.
sauce.
It's just us reading off words as they slowly pass by. But it is amusing. So, yeah, Cannabis
Sorry.
Trade Show in town as of last week. It was weekend. It was here, I guess.
2 weeks ago now.
2 weeks. Did you go?
No, I didn't go. Tickets were like $450 or something.
They were?
Mm-hmm.
There was a bunch of free ones hanging around the building.
Oh, no, the Cannabis Trade Show this weekend at the P&E did not go.
Oh, you were talking about the ICB.
I was talking about the ICBC
Yeah,
thing.
no, yeah. I went to that too. And then, yeah.
I was like,
Wait,
Totally
shit.
different
What?
ballgame.
Huh?
I said, I can't wear my trackie there. Everyone would be like, who's this guy in the trackie? All the suits.
Russian mob boss.
I'd be like, yeah, I'm here
Yeah.
for the work.
I'm here for the work. I didn't go either to this one, the P&E one.
Johnny B
It
was
at a
working
Pacific
there.
National Exhibit, yeah.
Yeah,
Did
totally.
you go? You went? You did not go. But we have a video from, I believe this is Happy. And did you edit it?
Yeah, I cut it, but it's pretty simple.
Cut by Anil. Video by Happy. Check it out.
Happy.
Mortality from opioid crisis. So this is no joke. We hear often about the problems with opioids, and again, this industry has an opportunity to tremendously impact this issue in all countries, and of course in the U.S. where it's raging.
See some parallels, a lot of parallels between what happened with liquor and what's going to happen with cannabis. Starting right off the top, in 1921, British Columbia voted to end Prohibition. But since that time that people voted to have access to alcohol, all government did was place barriers to prevent people from having access to that product they voted in favor of having access to. And one of the little funny facts about Prohibition, the reason it was ended was it wasn't working. People were still accessing alcohol. Indeed, there was a gentleman by the name of Walter Finley, who was a top BC government official in charge of enforcing Prohibition. But he was arrested for bootlegging. He had $1 million worth of rye that he was smuggling into British Columbia on a train from Ontario, and he got caught. So we ended that. Now, how does that compare to cannabis? People are prohibiting cannabis isn't working. People want access to it. But all I see with the previous presentation today, and all the conferences we go to, government's doing a great job to prevent people from having access to it. And I look at a lot of the people who are at this conference and the people out in that room. You guys been to cannabis, the retailing, the production of cannabis, what NASA is to space. You know how to do it. You got to figure it out. Even though it's not been legal, you've been doing it for 20, 30 years. And now government's going to come in and tell us how to do it. Yeah, and the one thing I find interesting is we've gone to a lot of cannabis conferences since January. Whether it be here, when you had up in Kelowna, I was just happy to show you this article on paper. Remember, there's one in Penticton in September. We're going to Toronto in August to one. But I find it interesting that all these conferences, there's no one here from government. That's the elephant in the room. And these are going to be your future business partners. These are going to be the people you're going to have daily relationships with, whether it be from an inspection, from a licensing, from a distribution perspective. But they're not coming to these conferences. They're not standing up here saying, this is what we're thinking of doing. What do you folks think? They're not telling us where things exactly are at. And these people have limited knowledge about cannabis. So that scares me. And I think to some extent, it's going to not be perfect. And even the minister Mr. Farnworth, made it clear that there's going to be some bumps along the road as they try and get this right. But I'm always mindful of the old saying, don't start fast plans with half-assed ideas. And to some extent, I'm nervous about the cannabis side, both on the distribution side and on the licensing side, that there's going to be some bumps in the road. Now, what we see the government's going to do is the fact that they give responsibility for cannabis licensing to the Liquor Control Licensing Branch officials, folks we've been dealing with for 30 years who we know, so they're going to roll it out similar to the way that you used to be able to apply for a licensing retail liquor store before they put a moratorium in place. So we kind of got a sense of what documents are going to be required, what the process will be. The liquor branch is staffing up for this. They just hired a bunch more people. They've moved offices, and they're just hiring right now, interviewing some new auditors to come in on the enforcement side to make sure that they have to do an investigation or an audit or determine if someone's fit and proper to hold a cannabis license, that they can do the proper investigation, similar to what they do on the liquor file, to make sure that they can follow the money back to make sure it's clean and it's not coming from Asia, it's not coming from Hell's Angels or whatever. And they will also be turning people down for licenses.
Okay, what I hate about this law, and when we boil it down to, you read the definition of cannabis, and then you're going to go to the schedule. And then in the schedule, it says that the definition of cannabis includes all phytocannabinoids derived from cannabis and non-cannabis sources. So technically in something like kale and echinacea, the same phytocannabinoids that they find in cannabis can be produced from those other plants. However, if you don't have a license from the federal government to produce those phytocannabinoids from non-cannabis sources, you could be looking at going to jail, having your children technically removed, and being subject to civil forfeiture under the black letter of the law. And I guess what I find that really upsetting is that this is not the legalization I wanted to see. In fact, cannabis is more illegal now than it was. In British Columbia, for example, I can load my boat up with alcohol and zoom around the lake. But I can't even have my medically prescribed cannabis on board, right? So sure, the government is saving us from ourselves, but the difficulty is alcohol and tobacco are regulated looser than cannabis is. And for me there is alcohol and tobacco, if used as directed, will kill you. Cannabis, the jury, I guess, is still out, hence why we're legalizing it. So the other parts that I don't like of the act also have these arbitrary limits between what is a micro grower and a macro grower. In fact, honestly, I think the industry is set up and it's designed to fail. And before I pass the mic, I really do hope the British Columbia government steps up, because at the moment we've only been talking about Section 91 of the Charter, which deals with federal heads of power, such as the healthcare criminal law. However, at the provincial level, the implementation of healthcare, along with, well, Section 9213 is provincial trade and industry. Federally, they can keep the medical program, but I believe that cannabis produced in British Columbia for consumption by British Columbians before we look at exporting should be decided by Victoria, because this is provincial trade and industry. Alberta, last point, does not apply to Ottawa for a license to drill for oil. Right? We don't go to Ottawa for a license for mining. Why should we have to go for a license to produce the commodity that, let's face it, BC invented? If it wasn't for BC, there would be no federal legalization, because they can't grow all year round like we can in British Columbia outdoor. So that's my thought. Cheery thought on it.
How would you compare Prohibition How would you compare Prohibition to what's going on today with cannabis?
It's the same thing. Because look at Prohibition right up until the end. They were smashing barrels up until midnight. Even though we're seeing legalization, we have seen increased numbers of raids with the police, but more importantly, you see now municipal governments trying to close dispensaries by taking them through summonses to provincial court. With that in mind, though, I'm one of council, 4 council involved with a 14-day charter challenge against the 3 levels of government starting in September before the Chief Justice. And yeah, everything that you set out is one of the issues that we're trying to deal with, because although we're legalizing, it's even more restrictive. And in fact, the penalties outside the circle of what the government has said is legal is even stricter now than ever. So to answer your question, if we're legalizing, why is government wasting money and resources? And to hit the point home, we haven't even talked about civil forfeiture yet. And I can prove that that's coming because the Office of the Director of Civil Forfeiture in Victoria has just hired 1,200 new staff lawyers. And unlike criminal law, where the state has to prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt, no, civil forfeiture is the civil standard, which just means they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And the test is unlawful activity. So they're going to use that as a tool, not against organized crime, but against anyone else who is operating outside of what they see as legalization. Sorry, that's a long answer to your question.
No, it's a good answer. It's just government grabbing things. You know, the criminal law protections that apply don't apply to civil forfeiture, I'm saying.
My question is about the retail. Now, I have an illegal dispensary on Vancouver Island, and we met with the local mayor, and they said that the municipal, provincial, and federal governments are not working hand in hand. One doesn't really know what the other is doing. So even when October 17th, the feds will legalize it, if I'm applying for a retail license, if I get the retail license, but municipalities won't be ready until January, February to issue retail licenses, business licenses, because of the elections, that's going to use up their resources. Where does that leave people like me? I mean, are we illegal for not having a municipal business license? Are we good? And while waiting for the retail, can we get busted on October 18th?
Let's definitely talk. I live on the island and I have my office in Vancouver, and I deal with all of this issues. And so I can't stress enough that it really will be a municipal on a case-by-case basis. Now, in your instance, ma'am, let's just have a bit of a test case here, if you will. I presume you're in good standing with your community, you're in good standing with the mayor, you're providing a product and a service, and your product is clean and tested, and you're meeting the demands of your medical patients, and provided you're taking steps to minimize and restrict access by children, then I think you have as good of a shot as anyone in that community. What is going to be the difficulty is at some point we're all going to realize there will be no medicine available come probably the end of November while the government figures out the supply lines. So in that instance, I think against that backdrop, if you remained open and continued to do what you were doing in the evidence of a failed system, then I'd be happy to represent you, because ultimately you're providing reasonable, dignified patient access, which is in line with Mr. Justice Phelan and Allard, which dispensaries are providing. So my interpretation really is all you're doing is doing something that the government can't or won't do. But specifically, if you're operating in the manner that you've just set out, and your competitors are gangbangers with no taxes and are scalping their clients with dirty or not appropriate medicine and are doing this for different reasons, then believe me, the provincial, municipal, federal regulators will be going after that type of operator first. I think you're going to have to give them a reason to come between now and October, not to say that they won't, but it really will be on a case-by-case basis. And so for me, I represent municipalities, or excuse me, operators and municipalities across the country. And again, it really depends on your individual relationship and the optics and what we can do to engage the local municipalities so they know what your intention and purpose is.
It's as much PR as it is
Go ahead.
legal. Sorry, I was going to say it's as much public relations as it is legal at this point. And to your point, the three levels of government aren't working hand in hand, and that adds to the complexities, right?
You take on any criminal law, like as part of your repertoire?
I do, because I worked in London in finance and banking, and well, I guess, you know, you can only do so many deals before it gets repetitive. And when I came back to requalify in Canada, I wanted to do something diametrically opposite. You know, from dealing with white-collar criminals, I thought it'd be cooler to deal with cannabis criminals, and essentially they're not criminals. They're being criminalized, and these advertising restrictions are one of that. I mean, I thought it was always interesting how Tweed selected, you know, Calvin Brodus, aka Snoop Dogg, a Long Beach County Crip with a cocaine conviction, as their spokesperson. Now, there's ways around this. I've been grappling with these issues with advertising and a number of things, and I think it really is the degree to which you're advertising cannabis. I can't see how, for example, like how celebrities like Howard Stern will have AC/DC play in Central Park just because he's got money and a good guy, and indirectly that can promote his show. I can't see how, you know, if they want to do something like that with a means of raising education or an awareness that isn't directly related to cannabis, the drug, and consumption. But again, I do think that marketing and advertising is an opportunity for anyone in this room to start their own little Standing Rock version with respect to the application of these rules. I mean, they're rife for challenge. And I do know that a number of LPs are hiring disruptive media consultants to do types of advertising that may look more like conceptual art in public than it will come across as a event. Now, what if Willie Nelson decided, hey, you know what, I really like playing to people and I love, you know, what I do, and he decides to have an event sponsored with no name, but you can assure when people are wondering, well, Willie, what brings you back to the Gorge? Well, you know, Aurora, and we've been working together collaboratively. I mean, I can't see at that point how they could say anything. I mean, John Sally, an NBA MVP, is highly involved as an investor in the cannabis space, and he's involved with product development. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's doing this with his MBA hat on, or it has anything to do with those endorsements. So really, again, case-by-case basis, you're going to probably want to need to speak to 3 different lawyers and then try to pick the median of their advice just to be safe. What do you think?
I don't think I have much to add. I mean, I agree with what you say there.
Sure, well, here we go.
So I also just want to say that in Canada, free speech is a constitutionally protected right. Section 2 of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms guarantees certain rights to expression, and commercial speech is also valid speech, right? If I choose to place an advertisement, it's not that different from an educational advert that alerts consumers to what product I'm offering. So whether or not certain sponsorship and advertising restrictions in the cannabis regulations comply with that constitutional right, it's going to end up in court, right?
So yeah, the thing you have to remember with charter litigation is, like, it's not like the US where people go, I'll claim the 5th, or I have my First Amendment right. No, we don't have absolute rights in Canada. The charter allows for a doctrine called minimal impairment or minimal intrusion. An example that I will be arguing at the test case is in Vancouver, they claim 300 meters is best practice, and they claim their best practices from Colorado. Well, I retained, for one of my expert reports, the lawyer who drafted Proposition or Amendment 64, which was the legalization and the rules. I asked him in Berlin, hey, 300 meters, tell me about that thing. And he says, well, why? I go, well, is it best practice? And he says, absolutely not. It's US federal criminal sentencing guidelines, which Colorado and Washington had to figure out how to get around that to deal with legalization, because the Attorney General of Colorado actually contacted dispensaries in the state who were within 300 meters and said, you gotta move. You gotta move, we'll give you room to find another space, because in those days they didn't want to give the FBI and the DEA free license to come in and bust them. So in Seattle, the mayor had to reduce their drug-free zone buffer from 300 down to 150. Now, why is Vancouver choosing 300 meters when the closest regulation that we have is alcohol, which is 150? And it says should not be located from schools, community centers, and so on. And the next metric we have is pharmacies. They can be within 400 meters of a school. They just can't be within 400 meters of each other. How the hell does that work? So again, there's the argument of, is this the most minimally intrusive method by which the government is interfering with the right? And so, yeah, I would argue that a lot of like the driving, the advertising, the HR, employment, all of that is going to be tested as falling outside of the most minimally intrusive avenues or choices that the government has to regulate a situation.
Well, it was a really interesting conference. We learned all about excise taxes they're going to be quite prohibitive. For a small craft operation processing 10 pounds a week, for as an example, they're going to require a $15,000 bond down. Okay, this is to get the excise license, which is totally separate from all the other licenses you've got to get. They need that down, and every week to process, say, 10 pounds a week, you have to give them $5,000 in excise payments, right? So that's like $20,000 in a month, $40,000 in a couple. That adds up really quickly. So it's hard to see how they really plan to make this doable for the small guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, back
We're
here.
Back. Oh, microphone on.
Microphone on.
So there you go. A little bit of the cannabis, whatever it was, trade show.
That was the Cannabis Trade Show at the Peony.
Trade show. The Peony here in Vancouver.
It's a rainy day woman.
Yeah.
I don't know who was. It was a 2-day thing. It was nice. Rasta weed. We're still reading these.
Rasta
we
weed.
haven't even
Red
stopped
Cross,
reading these.
Red dirt. Reefer.
Give me that Reefer.
Oh, Reggie.
Reggie Watts.
Love that. So yeah, I guess you can watch more of that particular conference or content from that conference on Carly's Monday show. Carly and BC Bud Gal, 420 Lifestyle Monday, 4
4
p.m.
o'clock Monday.
That's right.
She'll be here.
Scope that out. Carly Marley, who was just on the show.
We've seen her.
Saw her myself.
Own 2 eyes.
So yeah, I don't think we have too much more for today, unless we like want to do another dab, or maybe I'll just hit the pen here. That'll give you guys some sort of
smoke show.
Can I get them
I should do this dab.
story?
I should do a
my
dab.
Weed, my wise weed, please, Jeremiah.
What do you want?
To be heard.
What are you saying, J-Mac?
I want to tell my story.
Tell your story.
Every 5 minutes.
Story to tell?
No.
5 minutes.
5 minutes is too long.
5 minutes.
If you can make it 35 seconds. But the story, but the same story that you always tell J-Mac about, but it's a good story about just about you using cannabis.
Yes.
You can.
Yes.
You,
I think you told her when Neil was speaking, no?
It needs to be told again because it's a good story. And
I think you could tell it. I think you could tell it in about a minute and a half.
Okay.
I'll probably dab it off.
It's perfect.
I got a minute.
Okay, guys.
I got a minute banger here.
Okay, guys. My name
Tell him the story, J-Mac.
Tell us
Give
the
him
story.
the goods.
Scoop.
Give him the goods.
Double.
Oh, and Neil's doing something over here.
We seeing double.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh.
It's on your story.
Yeah, but there's the camera. Okay, whatever.
Audio. We're dabbing. We're showing off the new Roar microliner.
There
Okay.
you go.
Hi guys, I'm J-Mac, and those who know me,
Can't get enough of you.
They can't get enough of you. Yes, it's Jeremiah. No. Fuck.
Telling us
Throw
the
you out
story.
there?
You know,
Oh,
hey,
those who know you can never tell a
those
story.
who know me have asked me why am I called J-Mac.
Ah. I don't know this one.
Yeah.
What? That's not the same old story.
No.
A brand new story coming up. Tune in.
It's because he's a Mac daddy.
Because
I thought it just because you were macking the ladies.
The reason
Mackin'.
why, no. The reason why I'm called J-Mac is because the way I live my life. Just me and Cannabis. J-M-A-C.
Me and Cannabis. Ah.
There you go.
Me and Cannabis.
Huh.
Right? Because honestly,
I like that.
It's good.
Anyone knows me for the last, in total, 5 to 7 years. The last year and a half have been the best years of my life, in my entire life, because of cannabis.
It's been noticeable too, J-Mac, because you've been really hauling ass on your bike and just doing all kinds of very active stuff.
I try to be as much as I can because I was told that cannabis makes you lazy, makes you unfit, makes you want to be to lie around. You just want to be like blah blah blah, don't do shit. Well, guess what, guys? Fuck you. Look at me. I'm riding 80K. My biggest ride is 75 kilometers to date.
That's crazy, man.
On a bike. When 2 years ago, I was in a wheelchair for 5 years.
Yeah.
Couldn't walk, couldn't do anything, couldn't do stairs, couldn't even get out of bed half morning. I had to be carried up the stairs.
Yeah.
To come here.
And now you like rally down the stairs on your bike?
Oh, pretty hot downstairs.
He's doing rail slides on the back wheels and shit.
Right? So it's like, so
backflip onto the bike.
So basically, I'll be
off the bike.
Off and off.
To know that weed, although I do agree with some that say some should not have it, I agree with them, but let them decide if you don't want to have it.
Right.
Don't tell them they can't have it. Don't tell them they have to have it. Let them decide what they want and what they don't want.
No kidding.
And what they can use and what they cannot use. Because the way I do it is, I know what I want. I know what I can use. I know what I don't want. I know what I can't use. So I let my
knows what he
know.
wants.
And they know this. And because of this, I'm where I am. So yes, weed is helpful.
But you need good weed though.
Good weed.
Well, more times than not, yes. Well, 80% of the time I do require good, strong weed. But the last 20%, I don't give a shit. It can be bunk, it can be whatever I get my hands on. I don't care. But I do require a good bit of weed. But that's why I like cannabis so much, because even the bad stuff, if you get the good, if you get the right, if you get the right bad stuff, it's even good for you.
Right.
Like with me, I go for high CBD, high indica strains. Right? So I don't want near sativas, right? Because I get talkative. I'm talking sativa now. This is what
Doesn't shut up as it is. Just joking.
Map.
Just
anyway,
Bom, bom.
But anyway,
we love you, J-Mac.
That's my story.
We love you because you're talkative.
Yeah. And before when I came
Ready to
here,
go?
I never used
Ready to go.
Ready to go.
Before I came here, guys, I was quiet. I was in the corner, stuttering, in pain, doing whatever I could not to fall asleep from pain. And now it's like weed. I took weed every day, all day, because I know that it helps me. That's what the name is, J-M-A-C. That's why I like it all capitals, because each letter means the word to me. Just me and cannabis. J-M-A-C. Thank you guys.
Very good.
Jeremiah and
I love it,
Cookie.
J-Mac.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I
Yep.
like how you told that story.
It was in good time,
I like
too.
how you framed it with the J-Mac. Like, well, I never knew that's why you chose those initials. Is that really how it came up in the first place, though?
No.
No? It was just because somebody's like, yo, what's up, J-Mac?
No. When I was in college, my teacher placed place cards for everyone.
Your last name is McDonald.
Yes, so it's J
that's
M
why.
A it's M-A-C. So I can put J Mac on the card, and I'm like, dude.
You're like, yeah.
That's right, J Mac.
Right.
That's my rap name now.
Right.
Yeah.
But like 2 years ago, I clued in that basically J-Mac is basically the way I live my life.
That's right.
I basically live just me and cannabis. I don't take any pharmaceuticals. I don't take Tylenol, Advil. The only pharmaceutical I take because I like to breathe and not sneeze so much is allergy pills.
Well,
And
yeah.
that is the only pill I don't take from the market is the allergy pill. I don't care what kind it is. If it works, I'm taking it. Right? But besides that, I do not take Tylenol. I don't even take cold shit when I cough. I don't even.
I love cold shit.
No.
Tylenol works for me.
Take some Advil. Jer's allergic.
I'm allergic to Advil, yeah.
All I do is cannabis taste.
Makes me swell up like a
Pure
tomato.
cannabis taste.
Helps my
So
headaches.
So it's like, yeah.
For now.
That's why it's JMAC, because the way I live my life is just me and cannabis. My doctor okayed me. My doctor doesn't even know how much I smoke, nor does he want to know. Because I don't see my doctor. I see my doctor.
But he knows how much you bike.
Oh, he knows. My dad tells me every day.
Yeah.
He's like, holy shit. My dad, I think he had my doctor over yesterday.
You got a Fitbit or what?
Fitbit.
Where's your
Nope.
Fitbit?
Nope.
We gotta get you a Fitbit.
Yeah. Then we can
Somebody
see how
Then you
far.
can track all your shit.
Somebody can buy one. I'll one
They're
where
cheap.
I'll one where I'll one where
I think you
yellow.
can get them for really cheap.
Yellow or red?
Probably.
Yellow
everything.
or red? It make hell yeah. Yellow or red?
Probably get you black then.
Yeah, that's right. Pink.
I am gay. I don't care. I don't care.
They'll be cheaper this week. It's Pride weekend. Or
There you
that's
go.
no,
They'll
next
be-
weekend?
Yeah, they'll be more expensive.
I'll be camping.
Next week they'll be cheaper.
I'll be camping Pride weekend.
I keep getting confused because down on the West End they're putting up fencing
Pride
everywhere,
weekend, holy
but it's
Well,
for
you
the
guys know,
fireworks. No,
on Facebook, guys, follow me, Jeff James McDonald, because I will be riding my bike from Portsmouth Bay back to Vancouver.
lower levels.
Not this weekend. Not this weekend, but let's 2 weekends from now. So please follow me, track me, and cheer me on. It's gonna be over 140 kilometer bike ride. I'm gonna be so happy, so amazed. So
J-Max
follow
biking
me.
7,000 kilometers.
No, I've actually gone over 420K in 13 rides.
420.
420.
Dun, dun, dun.
Blep, blep, blep.
I'm actually
All right.
on ride track right now. So.
Well, good work on everything, J-Mac, and the best to you.
Keep
in
smoking
all
that
your
fuzzy lady or
crazy
the
biking endeavors.
garden.
Yeah.
I will put that garden
Garfia. Garifa.
Gangsta, bro.
Smoke the gangsta.
Ganja.
Some gas.
Smoke some gash.
I'm gonna go to Ganja, guys. I'm gonna go
Gana.
Got that good
Ganja.
gash?
Gigi. Hydroponics.
What? GG hydroponic. Giggle?
Giggle smoke.
Giggle
Boop, boop.
smoke.
Giggle weed.
That makes me giggle. All right, well,
You're fired.
the DEA should send them. Do they take new like how do they decide these? Can we send in our own? We should find the address where you can send new ones to. And then,
Be like, I think you're missing a couple.
yeah.
Terp hash.
Yeah.
Holy shit, someone's texting.
Oh wow. Those
Maybe
are
my
texts.
parking meter or something. Who knows?
Your parking meter's texting. you?
Cubby and Toad.
Yeah. They've got relationships with meters all over town.
Yeah, just meet them. They're waiting for me there. Give them all my quarters. Sometimes they take it
Mr.
and give me
Cookie used to
time.
be a vending machine guy.
Oh yeah,
With candy machines. He
candy.
had gumball machines.
Loved it. Not really. I hated it. There was a lot of filling up of these candies, and then I got sick of the candy. So
I have a gumball machine now. It's a pinball gumball machine.
Oh,
You play pinball. It's at high score. You play pinball with the gumball, and it goes
yeah,
up,
yeah.
wax more.
I'm
I
familiar.
just bought gumballs. I went to Bulk Barn.
Yes.
Bulk Barn has the
I
Bulk Barn has the dope ass gumballs.
I need
They
to
have
steal a
those
gumball.
gumballs that are shaped like fruits. You know those like full size gumballs that are shaped like fruits? They're called like candy stand gumballs or something, and they're like shaped like totally all different. Oh, fruit stand gumballs. That's what they're called.
And they used to come in a little pack of like.
Yes.
Yeah.
But these ones are bigger ones.
Whoa.
They're the size of like a 25-cent gumball. You used to be able to get them out of the 25-cent machines, but they were shaped like an orange or a big thing, and they were like crunchy and hard candy, like, but they turned into gum.
Yeah, like a gumball.
Totally like gumball. Yeah.
The grapes, I remember.
They were grapes as well. Yes.
You got some of those?
I did not buy those. No. I just bought regular.
Why are you talking about this?
I bought. You can't play pinball with an orange.
No, but you can.
Oh yeah, grapes.
Yeah.
It's just like, man.
You have to buy. Next time I'll go back, I'll buy some of those for you.
Heady drinks. You got heady drinks down there yet?
We do have. Actually, Carly was gemming up some drinks. Carly came up with a bunch of different drink combinations for our Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach and other like video game related drinks. And they're pretty damn good.
That's good.
Yeah, and so we do. They don't have alcohol in them.
No, you can't have that.
But they're pretty tasty. And so yeah, we've got all kinds of cold drinks and all kinds of other stuff. But it's good.
Nice.
Come on down.
Coming on down.
49 Hastings.
That's right.
649.
649 East Hastings.
Block past the Astoria.
I'll be there.
Either way.
I will be there. You will see me.
And if you
there.
want a shirt, send me an email, and I will get you one.
And send me the money.
Jeremiah at cannabisculture.com.
There you go.
Send him an email and send me the money.
Send JMac $25.
Yeah, send it to my Instagram account.
Yeah. Just don't expect anything in return.
A thank you. I'll give you good shout outs, you know?
Yeah.
Secrets in a secret test.
Yes, well, that was fun. Good show. I'm nice and ripped now. I'm like, how much for the shirt? I don't know. $25, I guess. Is that what a shirt costs now these days?
So I don't know. I
That
got this
sounds
one
fair.
for free.
Yeah, that one for free. I don't know. I special deal on today's show for anybody who calls in. $25.
Call in,
I
everyone.
don't actually know how much we paid for these shirts,
So it could be a losing money. Get after it.
I think $25 is fair for a
This
t-shirt.
whole suit was like 140.
Yeah. So.
See.
There, $25.
25.
I think that's a good deal.
$24.99.
$24.99.
Show special.
Yes, and thanks for watching the show today on Pod TV. You can watch all kinds of fun shows on Pod TV all week long. We don't need to go through
Monday,
the whole
Tuesday, Wednesday,
list.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
And Sunday too.
And Sunday. Don't forget Kush Queen on Sunday.
The Royal Hour.
Yeah, that's right. Go to pot.tv to see all of this week's shows and every week's shows and all of the future week's shows and many
Back,
of the
forward.
past week's shows.
You mean there's shows in the future?
Memorize the ticker for next week,
So
and you'll be
cool.
quizzed.
Yeah, right. Lemon lime. I definitely want to get some of that lemon lime.
Lime pillows.
Lime pillows. These are things that have nothing to do with anything.
Little green friends. Well,
Okay.
little smoke, more like a big smoke.
Wild dragon.
All right. Love you out there in Pod TV land. We'll see you next week on the show. We got Hector Bremner here, City Councilor from Vancouver.
Hector Bremner.
Should be fun.
Will he hit the bong? Probably not.
Will
but
he hit the little mini brewer? Probably not. No, I don't think he's going to do that and
But
ruin
still.
his campaign. But yeah, they're like mayor or a candidate gets high on air with stoners.
even I wouldn't do it if I was
Damn
running for mayor.
studio.
But you guys would know behind the scenes, I'd be token heavy.
I would totally.
You'd see me come out, be like
I
so
would
stoned.
totally hit the bong on air for Bear. I don't think give a shit.
We should have
I'm
Gregor.
not
We should have Gregor on the show.
You could hit the bong. He's done.
The current mayor. Yeah, when he's done, he'll come off and do a celebratory bong. Be
Bong
like-
rips.
And the whole time he'd be like, I smoked every day in office, and there's nothing you can do about it.
My office has vapes.
Yeah.
My office has a vape bar. You're like, what the fuck?
It probably does. All of the councillors' offices probably have vape.
Yeah, City Hall is a
They're just
dispensary.
laughing.
That's why we were trying to jerk you guys
City Hall's a
around so hard.
yeah.
City,
They own 2 weed
city
locations.
workers, yeah.
Kill 2 weeds.
Hilarious.
So funny.
Well, that's fun. All right. See you, Pod TV. Love ya. Drug peace.
Later.
Peace out, yo.
But even look at the balls.
If you want the dick, we'll bring the dick. Yeah. Just bring it. Yeah. They'll eat it.
I'll eat the dick.
It's only 345 milligrams.
That's a pretty beautiful gummy.
Oh, God.
Shit, don't drop the dick.
Don't drop the dick.
It's tasty, eh?
There we go. Oh, shit! She's not even using it first. She's showing.
Oh, this is what started it all. Then I have to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, coming under the table. Yeah. Hey, buddy. It's fine. I feel like that segment is going to end up in weird places of the dark web.
Okay. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Dinner is served.
More on the decision, I want to bring in Jody Emery. She's a cannabis activist and civil liberties advocate. She joins me now from Vancouver. Jody, good morning. Good to see you. First of all, your reaction to the Cannabis Act passing.
We're still criminals in the eyes of the government. I'm still being punished. People are still losing their jobs and their kids and their right to travel. So legalization for whom? In what way is this benefiting the victims of prohibition and the activists who have suffered and sacrificed for decades looking for freedom and justice?
I thought you'd be happy.
You won't let me through the door, and then you punish me because you won't let me through the door. It doesn't even just not hurt you, it saves lives. This flower can house people. It can heal people. It can enlighten people. It is fuel. It is fiber. It is for our health. It's the tree of life. There is no other plant on this earth that can treat so many ailments, from babies and toddlers and infants to teens to adults to seniors. Every human being benefits from cannabis. This is it's an enormous crime that.
And
this
that's why it's dangerous.
And
it's only cannabis.
So you don't think there should be any rules, restrictions, laws around how this is rolled out? I mean,
And then I thought about the Senate in 2002, how they actually took a look at cannabis, not right. They took a look at cannabis and overwhelmingly came to the conclusion that this is not a safety issue and it wasn't a health issue, and it should be legalized fairly simply for anyone over the age of 16. This is what they came to a conclusion, which we paid millions of dollars for them to conclude. And here, all these years later, this Senate, look at the position that they took. Complete, utter opposite to that. And I thought, well, what's changed? The cannabis, I smoked it in 2002, smoked it this morning. And I thought, wasn't the cannabis, it was the Senate that changed. You go, wow, isn't that interesting? How when you don't look at the substance, you can do whatever you want. This stuff, the good stuff, not the legal stuff. Peace.